Hi, I'm Holly, student number TU00668821, and this is Holly, and we are about to do the Anatomical Planes and Directional Terms video assignment. So we'll start with the anatomical planes. If we were to cut Holly, can you stand up? Ugh. Good girl. Over here. Good girl. This works too. Into right and left segments. Not necessarily equal, right and left. This would be called her sagittal plane. If it were equal, straight down the middle, that would be called the median or the mid-sagittal plane. If we were to cut Holly into cranial towards the head and caudal towards the tail ends, this would be referred to as the transverse plane. Again, it doesn't need to be necessarily equal cranial and caudal parts. It could be segmented throughout. We can also use transverse to refer to the limb. Separating it into proximal and distal. The dorsal plane is as if she is standing in a tub of water. So it's going to segregate her into dorsal and ventral. It could be anywhere up on there. Good girl, I know. You sit. Good girl, good girl. So looking at Holly from the front, her right side is over here on my left, and her left side is over here on my right. And again, talking about cranial and caudal. Cranial being towards the head, caudal being towards the tail. When we're talking about the head, we refer towards the nose as rostral. So if we were to say cranial, it's just too broad of a term. However, caudal still works because it's still towards the tail end. Sit. Good girl. In reference to her limbs, this aspect here on the inside towards the median plane is known as medial. On the outside, away from the median plane, this would be referred to as lateral. If I were to place my finger against Holly's little muscle at the back here, my finger is superficial. Pretend that my finger was a needle, and the needle is driving into the muscle. The tip of that needle would be deep. I know, yeah, no. Up, up, come here. Good girl, good girl. So, we're talking about her limbs again. This aspect here, closest to the point of attachment, would be your proximal end. And as you work your way down, farthest away from the point of attachment, it's the distal end. This part here, top part, we can refer to as dorsal. The bottom of her foot, the pad here, we refer to as plantar. Up, up, up. Good girl. If we're referring to the hind end, again, closest to point of attachment, be the proximal end. We work our way down to the distal end with the dorsal surface on top of the paw here. And then the bottom here is referred to as the plantar surface, the pad of her back foot. Good girl. You sit. Good girl. So if we were to use this motion with her limb, the inflection, so her elbow and her carpus flexed. If we were to straighten it, she would be in extension. Again, if we were to bring her leg towards the median plane, that would be referred to as adduction. And away from the median plane is abduction. And, oh, come here, come here. Yeah, but back up. And Miss Holly Dolly is in sternal recumbency, enjoying herself here. If she were to lay over, good girl. She is now in left lateral recumbency with her left side down on the ground. And if she were to be on her right side, she would be in right lateral recumbency. Are you ready? So we were to bring Holly all the way up. Good girl. She's now in dorsal recumbency. Good girl. I know. And up. Come here. Good girl. I know. I know. So back here, this is Miss Holly's hock, or her tarsus. And here is her stifle. And this is her flank. And up here is her sweet little muscle. Thanks, Holly. And that is the Anatomical Planes and Directional Terms video with Holly and Holly. Thank you.